Namo Namaha Bhaktam Sarvesham Hartam Swagatam. Welcome back to the channel Sanskrit Sopanam. I hope you are doing great. I'm also good. And since our last video, that was the 30th Bhagavad Gita Shloka, there has been quite some time. I was involved in some personal work and then I also traveled to Mahakumbha. So with all this, there was this delay, but thank you for being patient with me. Now that we are back, so we'll resume the series. Today we will take the 31st shloka from the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. A very beautiful shloka, what we can learn from the shloka and what we can understand from Sanskrit grammatical and vocabulary point of view. All this we will see in this particular video. By the way, this entire, in the next neighboring house, this full-fledged construction is going on. So if you hear some hammer strokes and all, so please bear with me. In Delhi, if you are residing in Delhi, it is very difficult to find a spot where some kind of construction is not happening. So, but that is what it is. So please be patient with me if you hear some additional noise and all. But anyways, without wasting any more time, let's quickly dive in today's video. Okay, so this is the shloka that we have today. Let me go through the shloka once. Swadharmam api chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi dharmyadhi yudachreyon yat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Okay, so if you see this long word, yudachreyon yat kshatriyasya. So you can also take a break here. So dharmyadhi yudachreyah anyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. So if you'll take the break here, so then you will start with this anyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Okay, basically you will be doing the Sandhi Vichcheda at this point. But then moving on, when we see the Sandhi Vichcheda of this entire shloka, then let us first tackle this long word only. So the individual padas here are yuddhat, shreyah, anyat, kshatriyasya. So these are the four pada. And the first sandhi is happening between these two padas, yuddhat, shreyah. So due to this chutva sandhi, this yuddhat, this takar of yuddhat is changing into chakara. So yuddhat is changing into yuddhach. So it is yuddhach shreyah. And this shreya can be written as this shreya. And the reason I write like this is because after this chutva sandhi, again a chatva sandhi will happen. Due to which this shakara, this will further change into this chakara. So shreya, this will become shreya. This will become this. Okay, and then these two padas finally combine. So yuddhat shreya, this joins as yuddhat shreya. And don't get confused with this. This chakara plus ra, this is only this. Okay, this is one way of writing it, one way of showing it. So I hope this is clear. Yuddhat shreya due to chutva sandhi becomes yuddhach, and then due to chatva sandhi, this shakara becomes cha. So finally it is yuddhat shreya. That is what you see in the shloka. And then after this sandhi, you have another sandhi that follows with this anyat pada. So basically yuddhat shreya anyat. So a sandhi will happen here now. And this is the Utva Sandhi, due to which this Yuddha Chreya, this becomes Yuddha Chreyo, and this A is hidden with the Avagraha Chinna. Okay, so that is again what you see here, Yuddha Chreyon Yat, Yuddha Chreyon Yat. Okay, the A is hidden behind the Avagraha Chinna. And then lastly, this Kshatriyas just simply combines with this Halant consonant. So together these four padas become Yuddha Chreyon Yat Kshatriyasya. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, and now let us see these two padas, Dharmyat and He. So here also two-step sandhi is happening. So there is one step, then there is another step. So the first step is this Jastva sandhi, due to which the takara of this Dharmyat, this is changing into Dharmyat. Because within the Jastva sandhi, the Vargiya consonant changes into the third consonant of its varga. Okay, so ta changes into the tritiya, the third consonant of its varga. So ta becomes da. So that was the first step. And now in the second step, another sandhi happens. That is Purva Savarna sandhi. So due to this Purva Savarna sandhi, this hakara changes into the fourth consonant of its predecessor varna. So ta varga fourth consonant is ta, tha, da, dha. So this he basically becomes dhi. Okay, because ha changes into dha. And finally, you add these two, dharmayadhi. So this is what you get here as the sandhipada, dharmayadhi. Okay, so I hope this is also clear. That due to just to sandhi, dharmayad, this becomes dharmayad, ta becomes da, and then due to purva savarna sandhi, this he changes into dhi, and together they become dharmayadhi. Okay, so in this shloka, you can say a bit more elaborative sandhi rules are applied, but there is no sandhi that we have not seen before. It is just they are being applied in multiple steps. That is all. Okay, but I hope this is clear. Apart from this, you only have one more sandhi that you see here, cha avekshya. So it is Chavekshya. It is a simple Dirgha Sandhi. Okay. And again, as usual, all the Sandhis we saw just now, all the Sandhi rules and all the word by word breakdown of the entire shloka is mentioned in the PDF file. You can download the PDF file from the link in the description box that is under the video tab. Okay. So download the PDF file. It is good for your own practice. Now let us directly move to the decoding of the shloka. Okay. So we are starting with the Kriya Pada na arhasi. And in the previous so many shlokas, we have seen this Kriya Pada arhasi. Arhasi means you are eligible to do something, you are qualified to do something. And this arhasi is again coming from the arha dhatu, right? We have seen this dhatu in so many shlokas before. Arha dhatu again means the same thing, to be qualified to be eligible to. So arha is the dhatu and arhasi, very simple form. It is a lat lakara madhyama purush ekvachanam form. Okay, just as pat become pathasi, you study. So arha become arhasi, you are qualified to, you are eligible to. So this is our Kriya Pada, and na arhasi, you aren't qualified to. This is what we are starting with. So immediately the question will be, Kim kartum na arhasi? That you aren't qualified to do what? Kim kartum, to do what? So the response we get is Vikampitum na arhasi. Vikampitum. And again, this part, kampitum, we have already seen this pada, kampitum, before. This kampitum comes from kamp dhatu. Kamp dhatu means to tremble. Okay, to tremble, to waver. Okay, basically to shake or to lose confidence in that sense. And kampitum, so you can already see this dhatu is being modified using tumun pratyay. So kamp plus tumun, it becomes kampitum. And the entire vikampitum, why? Because vi, this is the prefix here. So vikampitum. Basically the meaning is same, to tremble or to waver. That is in the context of the shloka, to lose confidence. And see, with this you aren't eligible to, you aren't qualified to do this thing. With this, Krishna is telling Arjuna that you ought not to, you must not, you should not. It does not suit you. In that sense, he's saying that you should not lose confidence, you should not tremble, you should not waver like such. This does not suit you. That is why he's saying Vikampitum na arhasi. Okay, so far this is what we have. And then we have Kim Kritva. That after doing what? So basically something happened before. After that, Krishna is advising Arjuna that you should not tremble, you should not fear, you should not lose confidence. So what is that happened before? And that is avekshya. Avekshya vikampitum na arhasi. And avekshya, this simply means having seen. Okay, having seen or after seeing in that sense. And this avekshya, this is also a kridanta. This is coming from the dhatu iksha dhatu. Iksha dhatu means to see, to perceive. Okay. And we can aveksha, we can very clearly see we have a prefix here, that is ava. So ava plus iksha, that is the entire dhatu we have. And we want to say after seeing. Okay, after seeing or having seen. So we know we can modify this dhatu using the lyap pratyaya. We cannot use the twa pratyaya because we have a prefix. When we have a prefix with the dhatu, we use the lyap pratyaya. So each dhatu, when modified using lyap, it becomes ikshya, right? This is what we get. And we have this prefix ava. So a guna sandhi will happen, due to which the entire word becomes avekshya. The meaning is same, after seeing or having seen. So basically Arjuna must have seen something and then he began to lose confidence. That is why he is saying, Krishna is saying that after seeing whatever he saw, you aren't qualified to lose your confidence. That is what Krishna is saying. But now let us inquire about what did he saw. That kam avekshya. That after seeing, having seen what? And we get the response, swadharmam avekshya. That after seeing one's own moral duty. So this swadharmam is coming from the pratipadika swadharma. Swadharma. Swadharma basically in the context of the shloka means one's own moral duty. Okay, and grammatically this swadharma is being used as an object of this avekshya. That after seeing swadharma. So this is the object here. So that is why this swadharma is being used in dutiya vibhakti ekvachanam. Swadharma changes into swadharmam, dutiya vibhakti, because it is the karma of this kridanta avekshya. And again, as we discuss, that Krishna is saying having seen your own moral duty. So having seen your duty basically means having come face to face with moral duty, having come face to face with the situation where you ought to perform your moral duty. So when you are face to face with that situation, after coming face to face with that, now you aren't qualified to move back. Now you aren't qualified to have second thoughts. So that is what Krishna is implying to Arjuna here. Okay, so I hope so far everything is clear. And now on this topic, this swadharma, this one's own moral duty, Krishna is going to elaborate on that. So from this second line, we get this kriya pada vidyate. And vidyate, this means something is or something exists. Okay, vidyate. So the more common kriya pada that we use is asti, right? Saha asti, he is. Balaka asti, the boy is. So similarly, we have this vidyate. Okay, is or exist. And this kriya pada, this comes from vid dhatu. Again, the meaning is to be or to exist in that sense. Vidyate, this is the latlakara prathama purush ekvachanam. Okay, asti, this is the parasmayapadi form, and vidyate, this is the atmanepadi form. Okay, so we are starting with this kriya pada, and immediately a question will be kim vidyate. Okay, that what is, what exists. So in response we get is shreyah vidyate. Shreyah. Shreyah. This comes from the pratipadika shreyas. It is a sakaranta napunsaklinga pratipadika. Again, we have seen this kind of pratipadika before, right? Manas. That is also a sakarant napunsakling pratipadika. Similarly, shreyas. And this pratipadika, it have multiple meanings. One meaning as appropriate in the context of the shloka is this virtue or the merit. And the shabd rupaha shreyah vidyate. So this is the prathama vibhakti ekvachanam form. Shreyas changing into shreyah. Shreyah vidyate. The virtue or merit exists. Okay. But when we move forward, we can describe this shreya, this virtue. That kidrisham shreya, what kind of virtue we are talking about. So Krishna is supplementing this information with this na anyat shreya vidyate, that no other virtue exists or no other merit exists. Okay, that is what he is saying. Again, the meaning will be more clear when we decode the entirety of the second line. But we have this na anyat. And you see this anyat. So this is coming from the same pratipadika also, anyat. And this anyat is used in the sense of this only, other. Oh, other or any other in that sense. And with this na, so na anyat, no other. Okay. So Krishna is saying na anyat shreyah vidyate, that no other virtue, no other merit exists. Okay, so now we can ask this question that for who we are talking about, that no other virtue exists, for who? So I'm asking the question that kasya na anyat shreyah vidyate. And the response we get is kshatriyasya na anyat shreyah vidyate. And kshatriyasya, this means for a warrior class. Okay, because this kshatriyasya, this is coming from the pratipadika kshatriya. And kshatriya in shashti vibhakti ekvachanam, this becomes kshatriyasya. So we have seen the more common use of shashti vibhakti is of that person. So Ramasya of Ram, Balakasya of Balaka. But another use of this shashti vibhakti is in this format. That means in regards to or in relation to that warrior class. Okay. So Kshatriyasya na anyat shreya vidyate, for a warrior class, for a person belonging to that warrior class of that Kshatriya, no other virtue, no other shreya exists. And then again, I hope that this Kshatriya, so all of you are aware of this, that in the ancient Indian societies, these Varna systems, so there were 4 Varnas. Basically, the society was divided into 4 classes, depending on the kind of occupations, the kind of job and professions that is required for a society to operate as a whole. So in that, one of the class was this Kshatriya, this warrior class. So all the warriors, all the army people, they belong to Kshatriya. And all the administrative people also, they also belong to this Kshatriya. So the kings, the ministers, all of them, they belong to this Varna of the society. That is Kshatriya Varna. Okay. And Arjuna also being the warrior in the Pandava army, so he also belongs to this Kshatriya class. But this statement that no other virtue exists. So this is in comparison to what? That Krishna is comparing this to what? That compared to what or apart from what no other virtue exists. That kasmat na anyat shreyah vidyate. Okay, we use this Panchami Vibhakti when we have to show this comparison, right? So, compared to what or apart from what no other virtue exists. And the response we get is dharmyat yuddhat kshatriyasya na anyat shreya vidyate. So, yuddhat is coming from yuddha. And yuddha, this means war. Okay, yuddha means war or battle. And yuddha, this is just the Panchami Vibhakti of this same Pratipadika. So, when we take this pada alone, Yuddhat Kshatriyasya na anyat shreya vidyate. So this means that apart from war, that basically means that apart from fighting a battle, apart from fighting a war, for a warrior class, no other virtue exists. So this only conveys a half information. Actually, this conveys a misinformation. Because this dharmyat, this is equally or this is actually more important to convey the full meaning. And this dharmyat, this is coming from the Pratipadika dharmya. Okay, this dharmya, this is acting as an adjective to this yuddha, to this noun. And the meaning of this pratipadika, dharmya, this is righteous. Okay, dharmya basically means dharma yukta. Basically something that is abounding in dharma, something that is abounding in righteousness. So any act, any action that is righteous, that is this dharmya. So Krishna is not saying that for all the warrior class, for all the Kshatriya people, fighting war is their only dharma. No, Krishna is specifically saying that dharmaya yuddha, that fighting the righteous war, that is the real dharma of a Kshatriya. Fighting the righteous war, and this righteous is the keyword. And this is actually where a lot of people this misunderstand Bhagavad Gita, because a lot of people have this very delusional idea that Krishna is war mongering. He is propagating the idea of war. But they see this yuddha, but they miss out this important word dharmya. That Krishna is saying that for a warrior class, fighting in a righteous war, that is their param dharma. And that is right, that actually applies to all of us. That to perform a righteous action, that is only our swadharma. And that is what Krishna is telling Arjuna here. That when you are faced with your own moral duty, when you have to perform your moral duty, when you have to discharge your duty as a Kshatriya warrior, now you are thinking of going back. Now you are thinking of letting down your weapons. But you aren't qualified to tremble. You aren't qualified to waver. Because for a warrior, for a Kshatriya person, no other virtue, no other fame, no other glory, no other merit is as important as fighting or taking part or playing their role in a righteous war. So that is what Krishna is telling Arjuna here. Okay, so I hope you get the meaning. And yuddha, this is the noun here, and dharmya, this is the adjective describing that noun. So dharmya yuddha, righteous war. And the use of Panchami Vibhakti also I hope is clear, because we are conveying that apart from a righteous war, that compared to this righteous war, no other virtue, no other shreya exists for a warrior class. Okay, so I hope all these words, everything is clear. Now let us directly see the Anvaya along with the Anuvada. Okay, so in the previous shloka itself, we saw Krishna again reminding Arjuna that shake off your delusion, shake off your dejection, and be steady and fight this war. And the same thing is continuing in this shloka. That is why we are starting with this apicha, that and furthermore. So apicha and further, swadharmam avekshya, having seen or basically having come face to face with swadharma, with one's own moral duty. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that having come face to face with your own moral duty, vikampitum na arhasi, you ought not to waver, you ought not to tremble and lose confidence as such. And then he's also giving a brilliant reason to Arjuna, that dharmayat hi yuddhat. So you see this he. So this he generally translates as indeed, but this he also translates as for. No, for or because, when we are giving a reason. So this for in the sense that when we are continuing our sentence, giving the reason to what we said earlier. Okay, so Krishna is saying that you ought not to waver and lose confidence as such for dharmyat yuddhat, apart from a righteous war. That basically means that apart from doing one's own duty in a righteous war, na anyat shreyah, no other virtue, no other merit, vidyate, exists for kshatriyasya, for a kshatriya, for a warrior class. Okay, so this is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So this is the entire translation. Okay, and this is a beautiful shloka because it has a very deeper significance in its meaning. Because this topic of violence and non-violence and war and everything, this is very misunderstood by people. The people generally get stuck in the word, in the definitions. Because when we hear about violence, when we see this term, when we hear about this term violence, we immediately feel repulsive. That okay, violence is bad, violence should not happen. But we need to understand from what vantage point we are seeing that violence. Okay, when a butterfly emerges from a cocoon, so that is the destruction of a cocoon, right? But that destruction leads to a new beginning. Okay, so that violence, that destruction leads to a beginning. So it's not that every violence, every destruction is bad. We have to see what comes out of it. And that is why Krishna is saying here, dharmya yuddha, that a righteous war. So this high sounding and noble sounding idea that all sort of violence is bad and all sort of violence should be banned. No, it is wrong. You have to see the situation. You have to understand the situation. Because a policeman, when he kills one terrorist, so that is also violence. But that violence is going to save so many lives. Because if he does not kill that terrorist in turn is going to kill hundreds of people. So that violence is necessary. Now you are not going to preach that policeman, no, no, every form of violence is bad, just follow non-violence. No, it does not work like that. Because for a policeman, if he follows that policy of non-violence, a chaos will pursue. Even more violence will happen. So that non-violence is going to cause further chain of violence. So we have to understand the violence where it is required, where it is necessary. And again, it is a very sensitive topic, but we have to be mature, we have to be adult about that. And that is what Krishna is telling Arjuna here, that for a warrior class, for a warrior, this entire war, you are one of the main warrior. So many soldiers, their morale, it all depends on you. And now if you back out from your role, then that is the worst. You are thinking about so many higher values, that if I kill my colleagues, if I kill my brothers, if I kill my teachers, then I'll accrue so many sins and all. You are talking about all these high philosophies and everything, but what is required of you, what is your moral duty, that you are not performing. So that is what Krishna is urging Arjuna to do, that for a warrior class fighting righteous war, that is the highest shreya, that is the highest merit that any warrior class can have. Okay, so again, a very interesting topic. We can have long discussions, long debates on this, but in general sense, to understand this violence and non-violence and to understand it properly, that is very important, because a lot of damage has been done in our past, in our own history, because of the misunderstanding, because of the extreme obsession with this policy of non-violence. So all these things has to be taken care of, all these points have to be understood. So again, Bhagavad Gita is not just a religion or a dry philosophy. It is a practical handbook for all of us in our day-to-day life also. So that is what it is required. But anyways, I hope the entire grammar part of the shloka, that was clear, and the vocabulary, everything. If you have any doubt, there is PDF sheet. You can refer to that PDF sheet. If I miss out anything in the video, that will be available in the PDF sheet. All the word by word breakdown and all the Sandhi rules that we spoke out in the initial part of the video. I'll meet you in another video with another Bhagavad Gita Shloka. Until then, stay awesome, stay happy, keep learning Sanskrit. Vayam punah milamaha. Dhanyavad.